Welcome, guys. In the room, we have
Vlad,
Stefan.
And Christina.
and me, Christopher Lindvall. We're going to talk with Vlad and Stefan today. Stefan, who is the latest person to join Distancify, and Vlad, who's been with us for a while. We have some questions for you guys about how it is working here at Distancify. I'm going to start off with the first question, a warm-up question. What do you wish you had known about Distancify before joining the team? And we can start with you, Stefan, because you have this fresh in memory, I suppose.
I wish I knew how fun it's here. I wasn't expecting this.
I thought we were a boring company.
I thought the pressure of always delivering for the customers will get to everybody and forget to have fun.
Right.
But no,
Who's the funniest?
I can't vote now.
Secret.
Yeah. What about you, Vlad?
almost anything. It's my first job after all.
Yeah.
So I had no experience in working or programming.
But there's nothing specific, right?
No, I don't think so.
Was there anything that surprised you? Because you gotta have had some assumptions, right?
Yeah, the organization, actually. We've been very organized from the beginning in code.
Yeah.
Working alone all this time, just not using Git at all.
Yeah.
And then suddenly having to look at pull requests and all that.
Yeah.
About the company culture
Oh,
compared to
exactly. I have no idea. It's my first company culture, but I already feel it's one of the best.
Yeah.
Even while listening to other people I know. So I was lucky.
All right. It's interesting because, Vlad, how long have you been here now?
Almost 5 years.
5 years. Okay. Stefan has not even been here 5 weeks.
Not a month.
So when you started out, Vlad, I think we just dropped you in. Were there anyone that you worked with in the beginning, sort of helped you out to get started? Or someone who's like been there for you?
I think you've been there. I think the first month I was working with you on something completely new. It was e-sales back then.
Yeah.
Just threw me in directly, just had help from Levi to help me with some stuff from Lithium. But otherwise, no. Until later you put me with Paul. So Paul helped me guide for 1 year, which was very nice.
Yeah.
But you were there first for me and to show me actual code.
All right. You're welcome. Okay. Well, what about you, Stefan? You've barely dipped your feet in working yet, but do you feel like you're getting enough support to get started?
I get enough, but I get it differently from everybody.
Right.
The first steps, I was guided by Christina, then Levi and Paul, then Oscar, and after Vlad's vacation ended, Vlad. So, and everybody has a different way of seeing support, and Vlad is the one that actually is delivering most on support and is stressed about it. He wants the SLA always to be maintained.
Yeah.
So he's the one that I will work with, I think, because he's the one that really wants it to be done on time and properly.
Yeah. So I didn't mention that in introduction, but feel free to just briefly say what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm a programmer. Last year I started taking on some support since I saw that there was some pressure there and there was not enough eyes looking at that. So I started to put my own eyes in there since I already gained so much experience through the years. And now I'm training Stefan so I can go back to being more a programmer again.
Right. Yeah. And you, Stefan?
I'm on support for the apps and the solutions developed by Distancify.
Right. Yeah. So, but you've been working with support for a long time, right? Your background.
Yes, I did. But this is nothing like working in support for a large company that cares more about the numbers. You should handle these many cases a day in an average of 5 minutes. No one cares about, but you should do your best, but always 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And you should maintain that average handling time, regardless of if they have a batch of products which are with problems, it will be impossible for you to maintain that average handling time.
Yeah.
Because you'll have to apologize and explain to everybody that it's a problem, we know about it, we'll fix it. For now, you do this, that, but you cannot interrupt the customer, and you'll have to let them vent. They will be mad if they paid a lot of money for something that's not working, and maybe they will talk by themselves for 15 minutes before you can explain anything. But here I see it's about actually solving the problems and addressing the proper answer and the proper way, the request the customer needs. And if something is recurring, I'm sure that it will be fixed. So the customers will no longer send us that kind of problems and tickets.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I picked up, especially from when I interviewed you before you started, your disappointment in not being able to fix people's problems in the past. And that's something that we really try to avoid. It's like, if there is a problem, how can we ensure this never happens again? And it's kind of built into our business model as well. We're trying to not make money on support, so we don't get sort of dependent on it, even though it's very important for us that the customers do get their support in time. But and my feeling when working with our customers is very much a cooperative effort. Our customers are also really willing to assist in helping out fixing the problem. And I'm very thankful for that we can keep that sort of relationship going with the customers.
And I don't find it at all demeaning to do support as a program. I actually found it really helpful.
Yeah.
First of all, I get to know how the customer thinks. I get to see the big picture. And now that I'm doing some even bigger systems, like some stock reservations and stuff like that, you get to be better at looking at the bigger picture, which helps a lot as a programmer. So I think anyone should do support, that type of support.
Yeah.
Plus you get some contact with the customer, you get that small satisfaction when you make them happy and all of that.
And you connect with the customer on like a personal level.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been supporting my own software basically throughout my career. And I think that's the one key element that has taught me the most. And I'm still doing it, even though I'm more functioning as a product owner here at Distancify. Every time you go into support and you start dealing with questions, you learn so much about your own system. It could be anything from customers not intuitively figuring out how a function works. And it's like, oh, is there anything we can do with the UI or to make it more obvious? Is there part of the system that is fragile and constantly keeps breaking? Maybe we need to look into that and fix that. So there's a lot to learn. And as a developer, it's just a gold mine of insights to dive into support every now and then. As long as you can get something else done.
Yeah, exactly.
And Vlad's contact with support is direct because in other companies you have a department for support, and the programmers get the input from the support department to some other people, and by going to so many people, the information gets distorted sometimes. So it's not like when you get a direct contact with the customers and their input.
Yeah, I mean, we deliberately put developers into support to begin with because we realized that those are the best at solving the problems in the first place. What we're doing now is we're trying to specialize a little bit with having you, Ștefan, being one of our first liners in many cases. And also Christina, you show up in support every now and then, and kind of trying to shield the developers a little bit. But once they get involved, we involve them fully, basically. So there's nothing wrong with having Vlad talking directly to the stakeholder, or at least getting the full ticket in the picture and be able to ask follow-up questions. We do the exact same thing in the opposite end when we're doing development. We try to not have project managers in the traditional sense, or even the product owner is more of a facilitator. When it gets down to doing the actual implementation, we're happy to take the developer and put them in a meeting with the actual stakeholders and like, now you guys figure out what needs to be done. I think we'll be doing the same thing in support as well, even though it's good to have a sort of first line or someone who is accountable for things happening, so stuff is not, dropped on the floor. What gets you most excited about the company's future? This is interesting because you've been here for very different time spans.
Yeah, so now I'll start. For me, it's going to be the products we're going to make. I mean, I'm involved in Huntera, and I like to see it used on a larger scale, actually. It's a better solution than what's out there.
Yeah.
and I want to see it used. I want to see people realize that we are doing awesome stuff here. We've been helping consulting a lot, but at some point you realize that some solutions can be reused. So that's where you want to put your effort in reusing your solutions. So I'm very excited about eventually launching Huntera, and I think it's already launched almost, and making new products after that as well.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Stefan? You got just a brief introduction to what we're doing right now.
Yes, indeed. It's still a lot. I'm still trying to learn the products, and you can see that they are really good now, but the vibe I get is that they won't stop being good. They will keep being improved continuously. It's something that really motivates me, and it's not at an individual level. And I felt it like everybody wants improvement in this company.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for joining, and have a great day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.